Hey, what's up guys? I'm about to go in here and play some poker at my normal place, which is going to be full house poker. It's normally where I go. I've had some people asking in the comments like how to record YouTube videos and saying they can't do it and all those things. Guys, look, I'm recording with this, okay? It's like the cheapest phone stand you can get, and it broke, so I put a napkin on there and taped it up, okay? If you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just do what you want and have fun doing it. Anyways, enough of all that nonsense. Let's get into the felt. Let's get in those poker hands. Hopefully I run good tonight, because I have been running good lately, and I don't want that to change. All right, guys, back to Full House Poker and back with another poker vlog. Oh, man. We start off with a bang. I'm going to tell you that much. Small blind, ace-queen offsuit, under the gun straddle for 5. I raise it up to 25. Action gets to the small blind player. This is like the first, second, or third hand. It's like one of the first 3 hands. I forgot exactly which one, but it's very early in the session. Not all the players have gotten here yet. So the small blind player is like, oh, I got a good hand, but you know, it's so early. Do I want to play a big one? Because he knows that I'm probably going to be juicing it up and betting and making this pot larger than it may need to be this early in the session. But he decides to make the call, and then immediately under the gun decides to go all in for 160. So he is all in for his, first, second, third hand he's playing. Just, yep. I mean, that's what it is. Action gets to me, and I'm thinking about it. I don't know what I want to do. I know I'm not folding. It's just, do I rip it over the top or just smooth call? And I think ripping it over the top, to isolate is the way to go, because me and the other guy in the small blind had larger stack sizes than him. So I go over the top, get it heads up, which is what I wanted. He asked me what I want to do. I say, hey, just the normal of what we usually do, which he and I normally go flop twice. So he said, okay, that's cool with me. We go flop twice, and guys, I gotta be honest, the flop is looking pretty good for ya boy. Comes out and it is ace 10. What makes this even better is this guy was just messing around thinking we were weak, and he actually had 10-4 of like spades or clubs or something like that. He had 10-4 suited, so he was just messing around and got caught. He shows the 10 here, and then yeah, he has a 4. So 10-4 offsuit, even better. Hey, I'll take free money any day of the week. 345 coming our way to start the night. On to the next hand. Alright guys, for next hand we have King 8 of clubs on the button. There's a $5 under the gun straddle. Feeling on a high from that previous gift we were given of the 10-4 all in for 160. Yeah, we needled that guy for the rest of the night about that play. In his defense, he played pretty good after that, but he was just in a donkey kind of mood. Whole bunch of people call, small blind raises it up to $25. Action gets back to the low jack player. I'm sorry, under the gun calls, then the low jack player calls. Cutoff calls out of turn, so he pulls his chips back because it is the hijack's turn right now. Calm down, sir. We know you have a hand you want to play, but you gotta wait your turn, okay? These things take time. You don't want people to know how strong you are. There we go. Hijack puts out the call. Now you can call cutoff. There you go. And I call too. It's $20 more, guys. Like, I mean, there's $1 million in the middle. I'm not going to fold. I have a suited king. You never know what could happen. Flop comes out 9, king 5 with 2 hearts. Hey, we flop top pair. Hopefully it doesn't get us in trouble. That's the only bad thing about doing these weak calls with like king suited, middling cards. If you don't hit the flush, I mean, and you hit top pair, are you still good? I don't know. Maybe sometimes yes, sometimes no. But when action checks to me, I definitely feel like my hand needs protection. So I bet $65, charging the flush draws and any kind of straight draws. Looking back on it, small blind does make the call. But looking back, I think I need to size up. It's a very draw-heavy board. I mean, for this price, any 10-jack, queen-jack, flush draws are sticking around. I think I need to up the price on this. I bet like half pot here. I think I can go 3/4 pot or a little bit more on this board. The only problem is my king once again has a weak kicker, so that's why I was a little scared, and that's why I bet a little bit less. I don't know. Maybe it's the right move, maybe it's not. I just think it can be adjusted and there's room for improvement. Jack of Hearts comes on the turn. He checks. I don't really want to build this pot anymore, so I check behind. And the river is the amazing 10 of Hearts. Yep, 4 to a flush, 4 to a straight out there. So when the small blind player checks, I immediately snap check behind. Let him know I have a king, flip over my cards. He says that we are somehow good. I have no idea how that's possible, but I have no problem scooping in this 200 $55 pot. He did have ace 9, so we got lucky and we won this one. On to the next hand. All right, guys, we're in the big blind again, and of course, we're going to pick up ace-queen offsuit once again. Undergun straddle for $5. In case you guys can't tell, we like to juice up this game. Yeah, it's a 1-2 game, but isn't it really a 1-2-5 game? Basically a 2-5 game at this point. Meh, that's Texas. That's the group of degens I hang out with, and this is the game I like to play. Action gets a middle position player. He raises up to $35, folds back around to me. I don't see any problem with raising or calling in this spot. I think folding's completely out of the question, but I decide to go with the lesser variance route and just make the call. Now we're on to the under the gun player who was the original straddler. He thinks about it for a little bit, but not too long before he decides to throw in some chips and make the call as well. So we will be going 3 ways to the flop. And I'm going to tell you right now, normally when someone bets 7x the straddle, I'm going to do what I do right here, which is check and flow. Even though we hit top pair on an ace-jack-8 board, and it's a very good board for us, I'm always going to check and flow to the pre-flop aggressor. Once action does check through and an ace hearts comes on the turn, I got to start building the pot. I bet $50, gets rid of the undergun player in middle position, thinks about it, then puts in the call for $50. We're going heads up to the river. 205 in the pot, river comes out. It's not the best card in the world. It's actually a card I don't really want to see. It's the 8 of hearts, making it to where we are now chopping with any ace besides ace-jack, which was ahead of us anyway, and I don't think he has. I don't think he's checking 2-pair on the flop and just calling it on the turn. So I bet $150, which is 3/4 pot. Once again, I think this is a mistake. I think I should bet like 50 here, not 3/4 pot. But I'm just making mistakes left and right and getting minimum value, it appears. Either way, taking in $205 pot and moving on to the next hand. We look down and see 6-7 of clubs from middle position. I do love these suit connectors. You can win big hands with them, but sometimes you can lose big hands. Hopefully this will be the former. I raise it up to $15. The player to my left, who has been in tons of hands with me already tonight, makes the call from the low jack. Action folds back around to the under the gun player, and he is going to tag along with us as well. So he throws in his money. We will be going 3 ways to this flop. $50 in the middle. Dealer, please let me hit something good. One time for the one time. Probably shouldn't use my one time on a $50 pot, but what the heck? I don't care. I live life dangerously. I'm not going to need it later, right? Right? Anyways, flop comes out and it is ace-5-8. We flop open-ended. This is why you raise with these suited connectors. So when flops like this come out, you can represent the ace. I bet $30, easily able to represent the ace here, where I have nothing but 6-7 high. Low jack does make the call, so now I'm feeling like we probably need to hit. We're either fading spades or he has an ace. Turn comes out, it's a 4 of diamonds. Now I'm not worried about anything. I have the absolute nuts. All that's left to do is figure out how much this player will call. And I land on the number of 65. 65 seems like a reasonable bet, a little over half pot. The other player does not agree with me, though. He thinks 65 is not enough money to put in here, so he decides to put all of his money in there, $140 in the middle. I snap call. Ask him what he would like to do. This player and myself do decide to go twice. After he says that, I let him know what I have. 2 runouts. Bricks everything. I have the nuts no matter what. He said he had 2 pair. He was not fortunate enough to boat up, and we ended up scooping this $390 pot. Guys, I never let someone know what I have when I ask them what they want to, like how many times they want to run it, because that can affect what they do. But $390 coming our way. On to the next one. Next hand, we look down and see the absolute nuts in no limit holding. That's right, pocket aces. It's offsuit, you know, it's not suited, so can't win them all. Raise up to $15, same as I did when I had 6-7 of clubs. That way my bet sizing is the same and no one can put me on a hand. I either have aces or I have, 7 deuce offsuit. You never know with me. I'm kind of crazy.
Action gets back around to the big blind player. He goes all in for $81 because he obviously does not like money. No, he's been running bad. He's on a little bit of tilt. I make the call, ask him what he would like to do. He says rip it. He's not in the mood to go twice for $160 in the middle. I completely understand. We've all been there. This is not a big hand. The run out is going to come clean, unfortunately for him. He said he had pocket kings, so yeah, it's definitely a cooler situation. The only reason this hand's actually in the vlog is because I'm going to put it as the thumbnail and title, and I didn't want to clickbait you guys, so I had to put this in there. Not an interesting hand, just aces. He goes all in and I win. On to the next one. All right, guys, for next hand, we're going to be looking at a PLO hand. I see 5 king, king, ace, with the ace, king being of the club variety. I also have a wheel draw with the ace 5. So, is it the best hand in the world? No, it's not. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's a hand that's playable. And I'm out of position in the small blind, so I feel like if I'm going to play this, may as well raise it up and try and thin the field a little bit. And that's what I do. Action's on the big blind player after I make it $15. I don't know why he's taking a little bit, but normally he acts faster than this. Eventually he does come to a conclusion, and that conclusion is he is going to live to fight another day. He folds his cards to a dealer. Under the gun player makes the call. And I gotta tell you guys, the under the gun player and I have been needling each other all night. Mill position makes the call as well. We've just been going back and forth. Cutoff also makes the call. I've lost hands. I mean, you guys don't see every hand that I post on the vlog. So I've lost hands. I've gone up and down. You know, I've won some. And he was just needling me every time my stack drops. So that affected this hand a little bit, I think. 8, Jack, 5, Rainbow come on the flop. I have pocket kings. The under the gun player bets 15 out of turn. And I don't know if this is him just being eager or what was happening. So I bet $50. He immediately raises me to 100. I was like, what? What is that? What is happening? I should have just checked and kept the freaking 15 out, man. You know? Evidently he likes his hand. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I should have just checked, let him bet the 15 and just called that. But I didn't. I decided to bet 50 because I thought it was the right move. It was not. Cutoff makes a call as well. Middle position gets out of there. And I fold onto the... I'm sorry, I didn't fold. I called. Oh, okay. Well, you know, we have outs. We have outs. Turn comes 6 of clubs. We got a flush draw. Under the gun goes all in for $80. You know, turn to flush draw. What can I say? Hopefully we hit. Cutoff makes the call. That's not good to see. I didn't want to see that at all. And now I'm in the blender because I either am going to call this or go all in and try to get a side pot going with the cutoff player. The only reason I would go all in is because I know these players go twice, and I think I would have 2 times to hit and get half the pot. But I think that's the wrong play. I think I'm risking too much on a flush draw when there are, you know, already made straights out there, so my king might not even be live if it hits. With all that in mind, I decide just to make the call. Go on to a river and see what's going to happen. 605 in the pot. The river is the boop, Queen of Spades. Yep. I check it. Cutoff announces he's going all in. I muck my cards in disgust. Did you see that flick of the wrist? That was just disgust. That was, why did I lose this much money on this hand? I'm a horrible player. And yeah, it's just not a good hand for me. Losing $605. On to the next one. Can't win them all, but hopefully we can win this one because I look down and see 9, 10 of hearts from the cutoff. There's a $5 button straddle. Action gets around to the hijack player who, you know, wants to make it more. Per usual from these crazy poker players. He raised it up to $30. I have 9, 10 of hearts. I'm not going anywhere for $30. I'm making this call. I want to see a flop because I, once again, love these suited connectors. Button makes a call as well. Action folds back around to the middle position player. He decides to come in with us, and we have a quattro party. Don't know what that means, but I just said it, and it's on the internet, so I can't take it back now. Flop comes out 6, 7, 10 with 2 hearts. Smash the flop for some reason. Check the flop because I'm a horrible player. Turn comes, and it's, of course, an ace of clubs. 120 in the pot that I've pretty much just given away because, once again, I am a bad player. Action checks to the hijack player. He cuts out a bet of $50, puts it into the middle. Hey, I don't care if you have an ace. I can hit a straight. I can hit a flush. I can hit a 10. I can hit all kind of things. I'm calling for 50, okay? I'm calling for 50. Button player thinks it's a fair price as well, so he calls. Middle position player gets out of the way because he is just, there's nothing left to hit. We've got it all. King of Hearts comes on the river. That's right, boys. We hit the flush. Let's go. Let's go. Hit the flush. Feels good. Feels good. Feels even better when the hijack player bets $110. Now, I only have one of two options here. I can either call or I can go all in. Those are my two options, and I go into the tank for a little bit, probably more than I should have, in all honesty. My only problem is I have a player behind me, and the hijack player's been betting, so I don't want to raise into the nut flush because I can see the hijack player, checking flop, betting the turn with, ace of hearts, whatever of hearts, ace, queen of hearts, ace jack of hearts, ace 5 of hearts, ace. There's a ton of ace blank of hearts he could have that he could play this way. So I'm a little worried that if I raise and get snap called by him, I'm just dead. Obviously I'm dead if he snap calls. So I'm trying to decide if I should raise or if I should, just smooth call. Eventually I do come to a conclusion that my hand is too strong not to raise. So that's what I end up doing. I decide to go all in for $460. The button player is like, he has $50 behind. He's like, why are you raising? Are you trying to, push me off the pot? Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? He puts in his money. He makes the call, and he's like, oh, right, there's action other than me in here. There's the hijack player who has more money. Hijack player instantly folds. Now there's 320 in the main and 120 on the outside. Yep, flush over flush. Luckily, it was with the button player, not the hijack player, though. Button player has a queen high flush. I have a 10 high flush, even if I raised on the flop. This is pretty much how the hand's going to play out. And sometimes you get in cooler situations and are on the losing end, which is happening right here. So 320 going his way, 120 going my way. Not too bad. On to the next hand. Alright guys, hopefully we don't just get the side pot on this one. Hopefully we can scoop the main thing and all the side pots that go with it. Look down, see ace queen offsuit. From middle position, raise up to $15. Everyone feels like they want to play because the low jack calls, the hijack calls, the cutoff calls, button gets out of the way, small blind, big blind, and under the gun calls. Well, we're going 7 ways to a flop. That's right, Texas heads up. This is what I'm used to. Yeah, 105 in the middle when it comes out 3 king 8. Not a favorable flop, especially when 7 people are in the hand. Someone can easily have a king here. Someone could have called with king queen, king 10 suited. Someone could have a set of 8, set of 3. So I check. I'm not wanting to bet right now. Ace high doesn't feel like it's the best. Checks through. 5 of clubs comes on the turn. I'm checking it again. Don't really feel like stabbing at this pot. Just kind of, at this point, a little bit ready for the pot to be over. But also keeping in the back of my mind that no one has shown any interest. So when the low jack bets $35 and it folds around to the small blind and then he calls and that's the only other person that calls, I'm kind of feeling like both of these players are pretty weak. I have no idea what they have. I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, well, I put him on a straight draw and the other guy's on a 5. No, I have no idea what they have. All I know is I think they're weak. So I make the call with evil intentions in mind for the river. On most rivers, I should say. And when the 10 of diamonds comes out on the river, that's definitely one I'm going to try and bluff on. I think someone could have an 8, someone could have a 5. I don't think anyone has a king, and I think the 10 could scare those middling pairs. So I bet 130 when checked to me, not giving the other player a chance to bet. I'm going to take the betting lead right here. That's what I do, and I put the low jack into the blender. Once again, I don't know what I'm really representing here other than a 10, maybe a flop set of kings. King 10 could play this way. I don't really know. All I know is I think they're weak, and I pounced on it. I bet $110 because they both folded, and sometimes in poker, you have to bluff. 210 coming my way. On to the next hand. All right, guys, we are back to Omaha. I am in the under the gun spot. Just smooth call here. I have ace, ace, queen 6 with my aces not being suited, but the queen 6 of being of the club variety. Middle position, raise it up to 10. there's a few callers. Guys, this is a horrible, like, aces hand. This is a hand that I'm really wanting to kind of get heads up. I don't want to go 4 or 5 ways. I mean, you never really want to go that many ways with aces, but these are bad aces. These are like some of the worst aces you can have in Omaha. So I want to raise it up here to thin the field. There's way too many people that called. So when it gets back to me, I pot it. I had no problem limping and just seeing a flop and not raising to 10. But since so many people called, I figure I can get some folds after potting here. And that's what I do. I pot up to $65. Little do I know that middle position is going to call me. Luckily, it doesn't cause a cascade of calls because it's still quite a bit of money. So people do actually start folding, which is a good thing to see because, as you guys know, if you watch my vlogs, that doesn't happen. What's this guy doing? Is he fingering his chip? Am I going to get demonetized? What the hell is happening? They're fine, buddy. Leave them alone, okay? with YouTube, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was happening. I wasn't watching that guy finger his chips. See, I've said it twice now, so I'm 100% getting demonetized. No money from this video, even though my videos hardly make any money already because, you know, like, we're a small channel. We don't have a lot of views, therefore I don't make a lot of money. Either way, I do it for fun and I enjoy it, and I love you guys, and y'all come back and y'all want to see more. So, by the way, guys, perfect time to say this. If you're not subscribed, maybe drop a sub. It's free to do, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the channel grow. Anyway, small blind makes a call. We're going 3 ways to the flop. Funny thing to say here, the small blind only has $10 behind. Yeah, I guess he didn't want to put that in. Flop comes out 3-6-4 rainbow. Horrible flop for aces in my particular hand, but we do have runner flush possibilities and we have runner boat possibilities. So I go all in for 155. There's 2-10 in there. I'm not folding to the middle position player's bet if he bets, so why not be the aggressor and be the one that goes all in? He makes the call for 155 and the small blind player who has $10 folds. No, I'm kidding. He put the $10 in, guys, okay? So we got 155 from me, 155 from the middle position, and the small blind player has an extra $10 in there to juice up the pot. We do talk about how many times we'd like to go. We come to the conclusion that 2 times seems fair enough for everyone, and I have no idea what I need to see. Do I need to see an ace? Do I need to see clubs? I don't know. Am I drawing dead? Anyways, 9 of spades, 7 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, 7 of spades. They did a little switch around. Same cards, different suits. Luckily enough, no one has those cards. Or at least a middle position player doesn't. He had kings with ace deuce. So he had a straight draw and he had pocket kings. And he just said, to hell with it. I'm going with this hand. Luckily, I had aces, and I get all of the side pot. Now for the main, middle position is looking over his cards, showing them to the dealer before he mucks them into the middle. That's right, boys. We scooping up this $530 pot with aces on Omaha 3 ways going twice. That's insane. That doesn't happen. Like, that's ridiculously unheard of. Anyways, 530 coming our way. Let's move on to the next hand. And the next hand, we have $5 on the button. Shocker. We actually haven't seen too many hands with me doing 5 on the button. That's because they've all been horrible like this hand, but people have raised and I've been able to fold. So this one, everyone just limps around. I have king-deuce offsuit. Not much to say here. I check. 5 ways to do the flop, which comes out deuce 9-9 with 2 spades. We flopped a pair. Technically 2 pair, I guess. For all the people like, oh, you got a 2 pair down. Yeah, I got a 2 pair. I get it. Okay, I flopped the deuce is what I'm trying to say. It's what I'm trying to say. Jeez. Freaking internet people. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Hijack bets $18. Action's on me. It's 18 bucks. There's a flush draw out there. He could just be taking a stab at it. I've seen this guy bluff with jack high before. So I make the call. I don't care. My king high is beating him even if I didn't have the deuce. Action gets his small blind player. He throws in chips as well. And then everyone else folds and gets out of the pot. $80 in the middle. We're going to a turn. I think it's like 79, but I round it up to 80 if anybody does the math to check me. Yeah, it's a little bit off, okay? 79 is a weird number. I like round numbers. Sue me. Turn comes. It's the king of diamonds. Hey, we got upgraded to 3 pair now. Got a pair of kings. Pair of nines. Deuce kicker. That's where I'm at. I've improved. Action checks to me now. And I think I have to bet. There's way too many draws now. There's 2 flush draws, diamonds and spades, straight draws, all kind of stuff. Small blind goes all in for 140. Immediately hating life and kicking myself. It's not good. I'm not a happy camper. With all that being said, though, I double check my cards, and I have a heart and a club. I think this is a call in this spot. The reason why is because I don't block any of his flush draws. I also don't block any of his straights. So if he has like Jack 10, Queen Jack of spades, or diamonds, I think he's shipping in here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have either one of those. He flips over pocket deuces. Yep, case deuce. He has deuces full. Looking for a king, going twice, queen up top, and then a 3 down below. We don't hit. 360 going his way. For everyone like, that's a horrible call. All right, just keep folding everything. Never call. I don't know what to tell you. This time I was wrong. On to the next hand. All right, guys, I'm going to make up for being wrong on this hand. Look, 10, 10, 6, 6 with 10, 6 of clubbos in my hand for Omaha. Sheesh. Oh, beautiful hand, beautiful hand. Just kidding. It's not really that good of a hand, but I do have 2 pair in my hand, and I do have a suit. So I'm going to limp in and call. Everyone else decides to do the same thing pretty much. So we are going to be going 7 ways to this flop. Flop comes out, and it's one of those flops in Omaha that you love to hate. It's, you know, we flop a set, 6, 7, 9 with 2 hearts. So we flop bottom set, and there's a straight out there, flush draw out there. There's basically all kinds of stuff that could beat us, especially on later streets. Also, we have bottom set, so set 9, set 7 has us drawing pretty much dead, except to 1 out. It's why I check. Low jack decides he don't want to check. He tries to bet $20. He can only bet 15 though. Hijack makes a call, button makes a call, small blind player makes a call. And even though I have a bottom set, I think I have too much to fold quite yet. I do need to see another card so I can sleep well at night knowing if I hit quads or not. Queen of clubs comes on the turn, changing absolutely nothing about this hand. That queen of clubs may as well be a deuce of clubs. We check to low jack who bet $60. He wants to keep betting. Pretty sure he has a straight at this point. $60 is an okay price, especially when we get callers. Getting us priced in. Dang this Omaha game. Hijack makes a call. Everyone else folds, but we got 2 callers. It's good enough for me. Feel like there's enough in the pot for me to make the call. 270 in the middle. We're hoping for a 6, a board pair. I don't know. This is why I hate playing bottom set in Omaha. 7 of spades comes on the river, though, so we do boat up. I check it. Hijack checks. I'm sorry, low jack checks. Hijack goes all in for 85. I'm hating life. Can't fold. Not for 85. Wish he had more money. Maybe I could fold then. But nope. I got to call the 85 and hope my boat's good. My bottom boat, which is never good in Omaha. But maybe this time. Fingers crossed. 440 in the middle. Moment of truth. Get out of there, player that had the straight. We all know you had the straight. I boated up. Hopefully he didn't boat up. I don't know what he has. Hopefully it's not a boat, though. Because we cannot beat any other boats. Queen 7? Yep. That's a boat that beats us. GG, well played. 440 going our opponent's way. Stupid Omaha. On to the next hand. And the final hand. Alright, guys. It's the final hand. Ace King offsuit. I limp in from under the gun because I just feel like someone's going to raise and I want to re-raise. I want to do the old limpy-loo re-raise because I got a strong hand I see people do on the television. You know, I want to be one of those guys. Yeah, nah, I just felt like someone was going to raise. I'm under the gun. I raise all the time. Let's see what happens when I just limp. Button decides to oblige me. Thought I was going to limp all the way through. I would have cried. Thank you, button player. Raise up to $10. Small blind raises him up to $20. Big blind makes the call. Now things are falling into place. Bump it up to 110. You know, you good old, what is this, like a 3-bet? 3-bet? Yeah, it's a 3-bet at this point. Anyways, I don't know. Math is hard. It's $110 to go. That's all I know. The rest of the table's like, geez, Marcus. I'm like, hey, sometimes you got to bring the hammer down, you know? You can't just let these people raise and like min click and just let them get away with it. You got to bring the hammer down on them. That's what I do here. 110 seems like a reasonable bet. Folds around to the button player who started all this chaos, you know, with a little $10 raise. And $100 more is a little bit too much for him. Can't say I blame him. He folds his card. Small blind player, however, he ain't scared another $100. That's nothing. That's like working for 10 seconds for him, okay? This guy is not scared of 100 extra bucks on top. He makes the call, and the other player makes the call as well. By the way, big blind player is all in. It's only action on the side from this point forward in the hand. $300 in the middle. Jeez. Heads up would have been nice, but, you know, a little menage a trois I can't complain about, I suppose. It's if we hit. Come on, Ace King. Really need your help right now. Flop comes out, and it is, yep, we hit Ace Jack 5 with 2 clubs. So we have top pair, top kicker, and we have the nut flush thing. You know, little runner, nut flush. Small blind player doesn't care at all what we have because he goes all in for 350. I asked for a count because I don't know how much it is at this point in time. Y'all have the luxury of video editing, so I let you know ahead of time. But, you know, I tell the dealer to give me a count. It's 350, spoiler alert. Pot's 300, so slightly over pot. I know some of you guys, it's so crazy because I read the comments sometimes and people are like, oh my God, he bet over pot. How are you calling? You're behind. And it's like, when I am behind, you know, obviously it's easy to say that, but when I call in these spots and I'm ahead, they're like, that other player is so bad. Everyone acts like they play perfect GTO. Like, no one ever makes mistakes in poker. I never want to play with you guys because y'all sound terrifying. Anyways, I make the call for 350. It's a little over pot. I can't fold. I have Ace King. It is what it is. If he has Ace Jack, set of Jacks, set of 5s, hey, I can't hit a flush. $1,000 in the middle. That's pretty cool. 4-digit pots are always fun to me. We go to a run out. Only one time this time. Going for blood. Jack of diamonds. Don't like to see that, really. 9 of spades. Feel like that doesn't change anything. This player is now going to show us his hand. I show him I have Ace King. He called $100, $110 with deuce 4 of clubs and flopped the freaking world. Flopped a flush draw. Flopped a straight draw. Went all in for 350. Whew, I don't blame him. I go all in with that hand too. Somehow we fade everything. Scooping a $1,000 pot. The other player that's in the hand, he lost. I don't know what he had. But yeah, $1,000 coming our way for the end of the night. Let's go to the outro and see how we did. Alright guys, we're in the game for 300, out for 1,300, so made exactly 1,000 in profit on tonight's game. Big roller coaster, made a few mistakes, a few misplays, got lucky on a few hands, and yeah, it's pretty much a breakdown. Hope you guys enjoy. Want to click on the video, it's somewhere on one of these sides, don't really remember where, but YouTube seems to think you'll like it, and if you like the channel, drop a sub. Catch you guys next time, peace.